I'm here to talk to you about this global longevity survey. So this survey was conducted with the benefaction of the Round Glass Foundation out of Seattle, Washington. And what we really wanted to do was look at countries around the world, how people were feeling about getting older, because the reality is that all of us are living much longer than we expected to. And I don't know how many of you know this, but until the 1750s, the average age to which we would live was 35. So think about that, think about your age right now. If you are over 35, in 1750, you would have already outlived your diagnosis. You would have outlived your life expectancy. By the 1920s, the life expectancy had increased due to the advent of vaccines developed by the lovely Dr. Jenner in Gloucestershire, to 56 years of age. And today, life expectancy is much higher. Globally, it's over 70. So we began to ask people this question about aging. And I won't go into the survey, how it was actually done, because I don't think you're so interested in methodology like the press were yesterday when we did our press conference. But I'll just go straight to this question. How long do we expect to live? And I would like to ask all of you to what age you think you're going to live. So I'd like you to raise your hand. Tell me if you think you are going to live to age 70. Raise your hand. Good, okay, so pretty much everybody, and I think quite a few people have already outlived that. Okay, how many of you think you're going to live to 90? Okay, this is pretty good. Now, I see Professor John Todd there. Our director of the Wellcome Institute for Genetics did not raise his hand. I would like to know why he didn't do that.
I'm a realist.
You're a realist. He's from Northern Ireland. He's a realist.
I do a lot of cycling around Oxford, which is...
This is true. I understand. Okay. Now, how many of you expect to live to 100? Hands up. So quite a few people. All right. Now, if I told you that you could live, and especially women, we women live we outlive men by 5 to 10 years, but generally those 5 to 10 years are in poor health. If you knew you could live the last 5 to 10 years of your life in very good health, how many of you would like to live to 120? Raise your hands. Okay, this is interesting. I don't see Vinay raising his hand. Entrepreneur. Okay, interesting. All right, well, I'd like to show you what the results were. You now know what your numbers were. Let's see what the rest of the world thought. So, key findings were that globally, the age to which people thought they would live was just under 84. Brazil had the highest expectation, and you can see that in the UK, just under 87 was the number. Your actual expected life expectancy globally is 73. Okay, so now we've talked about to what age you think you're going to live. But what about this statement? And I know it looks like science fiction. Some of you may have seen films about this. But what about living forever? At a time when we've got ChatGPT, we've got version 5 coming out, it seems like there's almost a Moore's law for longevity. There are new technologies like CRISPR gene editing every day. What do you think about this question? I'd like to see a show of hands for people in this room who would like to live forever. I have a few. This is interesting. Yesterday, not a single person raised their hand. Okay, so let's see what the rest of the world thought. I'd say we have 4 people out of 100, 4%. Actually, 1 in 2 in the developing countries said they would like to do this. So in fact, we do not represent what the rest of the world is thinking, because they want to live forever. And if you look at countries that really agreed with this statement, India is the top country. 55% wanted to live forever. Now, part of the reason for this is that a country like India, 65% of the population is 35 years or younger. When you're young, you feel invincible, right? You're never gonna die. It's all gonna be good. Contrast that with Japan, where 56% actively said, I disagree with that statement. I do not want to live forever. And you'll see that we have some Northern European countries after that. Finland, Germany, the United Kingdom. So why does Japan reject this? We tend to think of Japan as the longevity pioneer. We look to them because they're doing the best job of aging on the planet right now. They actually are outliving the rest of us by a number of years. And famously, Okinawa, which is in southern Japan, still lives traditionally, and they have the world's oldest women. There are multiple factors that we really need to learn from the Japanese. And when we asked respondents why they didn't want to live longer, it was really because of the strain of financial and mental health. And my co-presenter today, Sunny Singh, will be talking more about mental health. But interestingly, one of the other questions that we asked young people, Gen Z, because we did ask respondents from all generations, we asked, to what age do you expect to live? When we asked Generation Z in Japan to what age they wanted to live, they said 67. It's a shocker, right? But they have watched their parents and grandparents go through the aging process. And these factors are real. And policymakers and we ourselves need to take responsibility for this and plan on how we can avoid the pitfalls of aging. So how do we feel about aging? And attitude is really important. There's research out of Yale University by Professor Levy on how positive mindset can actually give you an extra 7 years of life. Just mindset. And Sir Muir Gray will be speaking after Sunny about this. So 1 in 4 respondents look forward to aging, higher again in the younger countries, and 2 in 3 accept the aging process with warts and all. Half feel calm about the aging process. So this is important because it will speak to how proactive we are. So when we asked individuals, do you think that your journey towards healthy longevity begins today? Actually, 2/3 of people said they did. And again, when we said, do you agree that you need to make lifestyle changes? Again, they said yes, they're ready. So essentially, populations are primed around the world to take control of their healthy aging. But do they always prioritize the right things? And for those journalists in the audience today, or medical doctors, or influencers, this is a message you need to carry to your followers, because they don't know what to prioritize. So I'm just looking at the physical ailments. When we asked them, what do you fear most? It was cancer and Alzheimer's. Now, it's understandable that people would fear these two things. But interestingly, heart disease is the biggest killer, and it's very debilitating. You'll hear later today from Professor Robin Chowdhury and Professor Dennis Noble, both in the audience. Thank you both for getting up so early today, on how we can actively work to improve our heart health. So I'm now going to hand over to my colleague, the philanthropist Sunny Singh. He founded a company in the United States, a very successful software company called Edifex. He came to the United States from India really with a hope and a dream and very little else, but a great American rags to riches story. And he's now going to talk to us about the mental health findings, but Round Glass is very exemplary in their work on mental health, and we have their global head of mental health here as well if you have any questions for her. Prakriti Podar is also here, but I'm going to hand over to Sunny Singh now to tell us about the mental health results.